Welcome back to the F125 My Team Save here on ChesnoidPlays channel. We are about to embark on an Austrian race weekend. Not a sprint this year. Not a sprint this season. Always used to be, but that's been moved to Spa, I believe, for this particular season in real life, and obviously that's replicated in game as well. We had an unbelievable time in Canada, and we're hoping to do the same again in Austria, if at all possible. We certainly hope to. Anyway, so we've upgraded the car quite significantly in the 2 weeks between races. We've also managed to get another training point for our manager as well, which we've spent on the corporate side because we're going to need to earn as much money as we possibly can to try and entice new drivers to the team. We have also started preliminary talks with Yuki Tsunoda for the new season next year. We'll wait and see if anything comes of that. It is a mechanic this year that other drivers can approach you too, regardless of whether you've got those 2 slots taken up or not. You can get a brief extra window pop up with drivers approaching you saying, I want to drive for you. So we'll wait and see if we get any of that over the course of this season as well. But the car, with regards to its progressiveness, its capability, is now basically with Sauber and Alpine and Haas. No, they're up there. VCarb, Haas, and Alpine are up there. That's weird. It's showing Alpine as below Haas, and then it's RB that's below Haas there, and it's just a bug. So, well, we're on par with Sauber, but we're not far behind. I think actually, as we progress to the next race, we might actually get further up, as per the way that upgrades are being developed, because as you can see here, we're right with Alpine, Haas and VCarb there. You can see on the performance index that we're above Sauber. So we do have 5 extra parts on Martins's car as opposed to Maloney's for this Austrian Grand Prix weekend. You know, the balanced tyre set, not changed anything livery-wise. We can't at the minute without getting to fan rating number 2, which is a little ways away for the time being. But praying for no rain in Austria. It's normally a sunny race weekend, but sometimes you do get a little bit unlucky. Are we unlucky? Oh, it's taking longer to load. Yes, we're unlucky. It's a fully wet race. Oh, mate. A fully wet race in Austria. Excellent. Daniel in chat a little bit earlier on said, I'm feeling, you lucky boy, that you'll get a dry race in Austria. You've jinxed me, Daniel. It's fully wet. Good. Right. Okay. Well, let's get this done and dusted as soon as we possibly can then, because it's probably going to be miserable. Do drop the video a like. If you're enjoying the content, I would appreciate it very much. Make sure you subscribe to the channel too so you don't miss out on any more. And I'm just going to jump on track. We basically quick practiced most of the practice because all of the dry running for the practice programs is absolutely pointless because none of the race is going to be in the dry. And it's a track we know well enough to not feel like we need to kind of get our eye in for qualifying because it's Austria. There's only 10 corners and some of them are taken flat anyway. So we're just going to jump straight to qualifying. Qualifying is dry, then wet. I think, was it the other way around? Qualifying is wet, then dry. We are going to be running. Wet weather wings in the dry parts of qualifying because the race is obviously as it is. So we do have weather set to approximate, not to perfect. But when every block is 92% heavy rain, whether it's approximate or perfect, it's still going to be wet for every lap of this Grand Prix coming up. So, yikes, I think is probably the word. Checkered flag is waving. George Russell does a 1 minute 5.3. No idea what sort of lap time we're going to put in. Did a 1:06, I think, in practice. Can't recall. Obviously, we say we're running wet weather wings, so we are set up for the race rather than for qualifying. because of parc fermé conditions. I don't know if anyone else is going to be similar. So we might not actually, oh god, that was awful, we might not actually make it through here. 105.9, okay, we will make it through, certain of it. P8, yeah, comfortably through to Q3 then. We did say, or someone in chat did say, in the when I was recording the last episode in Canada, that the AI are similarly paced here to Canada. So we were competitive in Canada. That would mean that we would expect to be competitive here as well. Zane is not last, which is great. Both Saubers, both RBs out, as well as Jack Doohan in the Alpine. Sainz, who got a great P5 in Canada, very nearly knocked out in Q1 here in Austria. But Piastri, who did get knocked out in Q1 in Canada, is through on this occasion. Like I say, I'm set up wing-wise for the wet, so I didn't expect to be as fast there as we were. 105.9. It's what, a tenth slow? We did 105.8. Oh, a P10, we're through to Q3 by the skin of our tiny little teeth. Just P10 will do very nicely indeed. Back-to-back Q3 appearances for the Chesnoid Racing team. Everybody through that you would imagine would be through. Yeah, both Haas is out. Both Aston Martin's out. Alex Albon in P4. Perhaps it's more of a surprise to see the Williams out in P12, actually. Maybe Carlos went for a more middle sector, wet weather setup, and the others went for dry setup. I don't know. But we're through. We will be in Q3 again. So we're still going to be considerably down on... stay out of the gravel chairs, that little wide around that turn then because of the being in the gravel. What can we do? Still on for an okay lap time though. Not going to do a 4, but we're going to do a... We are going to do a 4. A 1 minute 4.9. Oh my god! Table flip! P3! Jeez Louise! Okay, well, we thought Canada was a shock. If now I'm not gonna
started. Make sure to join us again.
Wow, I'm not going to massively. I think this probably means that they're running high wings and they've set up for the wet. They've probably set up for the wet, and that's why they're so much slower, and that's why we've been able to make a little bit of a shock result there, because we're kind of in between where you'd organically be for a wet weather setup. So I'm not going to take that as a sign that we need to up the difficulty yet. We will wait and see what happens at Silverstone for that, because certainly that's a track where everyone's going to be super strong again, you imagine. And we're absolutely going to tumble in the race. But we start third. Wow. I don't know as I can say anything else than that. Wow. Well, we think we know what the grid's going to look like, unless anyone's taken any penalties from the previous round of the championship. Lando from Charles Leclerc is the front two. We saw a Ferrari win the last round in Austria, of course. Max Verstappen not as strong at the moment as he has been. I still can't quite believe that qualifying performance, to be completely honest. But like I say, I think they've set up for the wet, and I was set up with a hybrid setup. So expecting to tumble and probably not expecting to finish in the points. I would have thought there is a penalty there for Kimi Antonelli. He might well be the only one to take a pen. He is indeed the only one to take a penalty. No, it's probably going to be full wet weather tyre here by the judge of the rain as it's coming down, and yes,
don't let me down.
It absolutely is a massive, massive rainstorm. Going to be on wet weather tyres for the whole race. He recommends 5.35 laps worth of extra fuel. Surely, in the wet, we don't need to set up with that much extra fuel, do we? I can't imagine we need... Even in the dry, I wouldn't imagine we need 5.5 laps worth of extra fuel. I'm going to run I'm going to run 4 laps worth of extra fuel and hope that I'm sure that's going to be enough. I'm sure that's going to be enough. Well, from P3, there's no point checking I mean, everyone's going to be on the wets, and everyone's going to be on the wets for the whole bloody race. And we're probably going to run a 1-stop. The 2-stop is obviously slower, and the wet weather tyres are just going to last. If we find ourselves that they've worn enough that we're actually struggling for traction and we're losing lots of time, then maybe we do a 2-stop. But it should just be a pretty straightforward 1-stop race. Hello.
Superb parking there, mate. Let's make sure we get the edge on the surrounding drivers as the lights go out.
We're effectively drowning, sat in the cockpit with all the rain falling into it.
Be ready with the clutch.
I have a fear that we might drown in terms of getting swallowed by those behind us as well here in the wet, but only one way to find out, and that's to go racing. Oh, and Lando looked like he was going to cover Charles. Lando had a poor start, but he's going to hold it around the outside here, I think, and still maintain the lead, and he has done. I'm trying to get on the power, but I'm struggling with downforce. And there goes Verstappen very quickly up the inside of me. He got great traction out of that corner. Yuki Tsunoda's right behind me here, trying to manage the brake pedal accordingly so we don't become too uncompetitive in the brake zones. And we've managed to... Oh, steady. There's a yellow flag behind, probably just because everyone's so slow going around the corner as opposed to any actual issues. We are so far so good, although we've lost a position in the rain here, and those front guys are disappearing on me already, aren't they? Let's be honest. I do think they're running more wing than me. I think everybody's running more wing than me here. I was hoping to be a bit more competitive in a straight line because of slightly lower downforce. But I have a funny feeling in our first stop for... Oh my god, I just can't get the power down. In our first stop for another set of wet weather tyres, what we anticipate being our only stop for another set of wet weather tyres, I may end up putting a bit more front wing in. Although I don't want to run the risk of being too unbalanced by having the front have more or way more downforce than the rear. So it's going to be a tough one to try and figure out. But at the minute, we are P4 and holding it. I am struggling to get the power down, but because we've got loads of battery, we're able to manage it thus far. Yuki's got a slipstream on me. I'm going to go defensive into turn 3. We've gotten it stopped. He's gone for a switchback, but he's pulled in behind because he doesn't have the traction to do it. Verstappen and Leclerc going at it. And look at the distance Lando Norris has already out in P1. This might be Lando's win, already gifted to him because of the early race battling. I mean, I'm holding on to P4 at the minute. I don't quite know how I'm doing it, but I'm holding on to P4 at the minute here in the rain. I'm really struggling around this middle sector though, very much so, because of the lack of downforce. Verstappen has taken Leclerc now, and Verstappen is disappearing down the road. We've got loads of battery we can use. I'm slightly worried about using the battery too much, because as you can see, after 2 laps, we already used 3% of the wear on the rears.
Issues with tyre wear for now.
And the more wear we have on the rears, the more wheel spinning we're going to be doing later in the race. I think we should probably add a bit more front wing in the pit stop. Rather remarkably though, we are holding on to P4 at the minute. At this stage, I would be inclined to up the difficulty for Austria next season as well as Monaco. But we'll wait and see how things pan out. It can obviously all change from here. At the minute, I am delighted with how this race is going, and starting to become of the opinion that yes, we will absolutely up the difficulty for Austria next year. We weren't this competitive in Canada, so I wouldn't worry about needing to up the difficulty for Canada next year, but for Austria, seemingly, yes. If we haven't, of course, already, by the time we get to Austria next year, because of the development of the car, if we haven't already upped the difficulty by the time we get there, which I'm sure we will have, actually, we'll probably, by this point next season, already be running up at 105 anyway. And if we need to up it from 105 to 107 or something, then we can do. But I've never raced at anything higher than 105. So it'll be intriguing. Lando Norris is currently going 1.1 seconds a lap faster than me, however, so we're still very much not as fast as those at the front. But I'm hanging on to Charles Leclerc-ish, but Verstappen and Norris are gone. And I do very much have a train behind me, but Yuki at the minute is not bold enough to go for a move to try and get past me. So we are hanging on. It might be in the pit stop phase if we have a dodgy pit stop.
The circuit's definitely looking better than it was a few minutes ago.
Oh, okay.
If we can just move a bit more of that standing water,
maybe we might be
able
onto
to go
inters later. Maybe. That might change things strategically then if we do end up going onto the inters rather than just running wet weather tyres from here to the end of the race. That would definitely change things because competitiveness would change again. Keep getting caught on that curve and it's just throwing the rear out. I think maybe that was what was misleading me a little bit into thinking we didn't have much downforce in this middle sector, or as much downforce as we needed in this middle sector. Need to stay off that curb on the entry into turn 5. Yuki keeps thinking about it. He's close enough to think about it, but he just isn't going for it. I don't know whether it's an AI thing or I just have just enough pace for him not quite to be able to manage it. I'm not sure. Because the AI are generally more aggressive this year.
Losing a small amount of time to the car behind.
Than they were last year. But maybe in some circumstances similar to this, they're not quite as aggressive as they should be. At least at this difficulty level. I'm sure if we upped it to 105, or had upped it to 105 for this race, then they would have been. I did expect to be less competitive in the wet than we are, though. I fully expected to get pummeled, quite frankly, in this wet weather.
Okay, gap to the car in front, 0.7 seconds.
Yuki's got a run on me. He's passed. Oh, slow in the braking zone though. I can't get the power down. Struggling to get the power down in the traction zones. 10% wear on the rear left after 7 or 6.5 laps. So we are definitely wearing through these wets. Might end up in a bloody 2-stop at this rate. Be really inefficient to do so. Expecting Yuki to get away from me quicker than Leclerc has. Leclerc's actually gapped me a bit more. I must have had a poor lap on lap 6 or something because that gap has significantly opened up much quicker than it was. Either that or I am just burning through my wet weather tyres. Oh! Charles Leclerc crashes. He's lost it. Charles Leclerc has binned it. Let's have a look from the TV camera. Comes around the left-hander and just gets the swapper on, overcorrects, and oh, he's so lucky, so lucky. He looks for all the world like he's heading straight into that barrier head on and might well lose a wheel, and somehow he's just straightened up enough to avoid losing a wheel and only some front wing. So Charles Leclerc is still going here. Got a McLaren on the left of me. Oscar Piastri's thinking about having a look into turn on here. Safety car deployed. Safety car.
Keep an eye on the delta.
We did change things to increased safety car for this race. I do wonder whether that might have been brought out a safety car regardless of whether we needed one or not. Oh, sorry, whether that would have brought out a safety car regardless of whether we'd upped it to increased or not. We've not actually had that sort of scenario previously. Safety car hasn't picked... Oh, it's... What? No. Safety car shouldn't pick us up. We should be able to pass the safety car here, and we can. Right, so safety car needs to pick up the leader first, of course. So we'll be able to go around and get to the back of the safety car next time round. Leclerc is continuing? Leclerc hasn't boxed. Leclerc hasn't boxed. That's got to be some sort of bug. There's no way there's no way that unless he's going to box next lap to try and lose a less amount of time, but there's no way with that amount of front wing damage that Leclerc wouldn't box in this scenario as far as I'm concerned. Although, in China, he did have that sort of damage and did stay out, so maybe it is more realistic. It's more than likely a bit of a bug, but because of the real life thing in China, maybe it's more acceptable. I still think he should box, especially with it being a safety car. He should probably box for that sort of damage, shouldn't he? Right, so safety car in this lap. We will start racing again from lap 11.
Okay, let's get ready to go.
Try and get a bit of a run on Tsunoda if I can.
When the field accelerates, remember there's no overtaking.
Fernando is now the pace setter. Safety car is pulling in now. It's just a case of judging when he's going to go, and I think he might well have gone. He has indeed. Lando has not disappeared, but he's certainly driving at full pelt now. And we're off and we're underway again. Green flag running now. Lap 11.
Clear.
We've got a bit of a gap to Piastri behind. I say a bit of a gap. It's like half a second, but we're certainly closer to Tsunoda than we are Piastri. Continually, I'm still delighted with how this race is going. Really surprised that Leclerc hasn't boxed, considering he's lost the complete end plate. I can't decide whether it's realistic that he hasn't because of China IRL or whether it's a bug
no need to worry about the tyre condition for now.
Whether it's just a game thing where, like we say, it would cost him 17 seconds for a pit stop, but 16.5 seconds worth of relative race time running the damage. It's definitely a much drier line forming now. We might well be onto intermediates at some point today. It did say just 92% chance of rain, heavy rain throughout the whole Grand Prix, so I don't know whether we will or not, but it is a curious one at the minute.
We're staying with us for a while now.
We know,
at least a 20
we know that the actual weather itself.
Full wet seem like the best tyre for now.
We know that the weather itself isn't going to change, but will the track conditions change because the cars are moving the water? That we still have to wait and see. I am going to say we're going to put another 4 ticks of front wing in though at the stop to try and help us in these wet weather conditions. Just be a little bit better in the corners because I am just getting a lot of understeer at the moment. Oh god, I'm all over the shop. There goes Oscar. Rightfully so. That was terrible from me. Struggling with a lot of, just as I mentioned, I'm struggling with understeer. I had loads of oversteer then. I just didn't have any grip of any kind, front or rear, to try and do something to get around those two corners. It's definitely the weakest point of the circuit for me at the minute. We're down to P4. At the moment, I'd say we have the pace to stay in front of the second train. I'm definitely holding those currently behind me up in terms of the quicker runners, Albon, Russell, Hamilton, because you can see the gaps in front that are growing. But I think I might be able to hold my own against the other runners that are slightly behind them. Albon is side by side here. I'll try and get the power down as best I can. Obviously struggling to do so. And Albon's got the advantage now. I'll have the inside line again into turn 4. Slightly later on the brakes. Make the apex though. Keep Albon behind. Try and not make the same mistake this lap that I did last lap that let Piastri through.
Green flag.
Yellow flag behind. Yellow flag in front. Yellow flag behind. It's an Aston Martin. Has he done exactly the same thing as Leclerc? I think the front Aston Martin's made a mistake here. Or has he just got a problem? He's got a problem. His engine's gone bang. I'm sure which car it is at the minute. What car is it? Let's have a look at the number. We're on board number 18, so that's Lance Stroll. Fernando Alonso's engine has gone kaput.
Okay, so we're leading our teammate by 12
safety car again.
seconds. Okay, the safety car is out. Safety car is out. We need to form up at reduced pace. Keep a close eye on that delta time. Make sure to keep it positive.
So we put safety car to increased, and we've had 2 in the same. To be fair, for the Leclerc one that would have put damage on track, should have seen a safety car, and Fernando Alonso has retired in an awkward position, so yes, we should see a safety car for that. Safety car is on its way in again this lap, so we'll be
car in this lap. Safety car
running
in this
from lap 17.
Let's make sure those tyres are up to temperature, and remember, there's no overtaking until the timing line. Stay in position until the green flag.
Yes, dear. We're off again. Lando's away. We only managed like 3 laps before another safety car. They do say that safety cars create safety cars, although it was only because Fernando's engine went pop. It's not like there was an accident.
Okay, clear.
Could I maybe have a go at Piastri into turn 1 here? I might. I am. We make the position. See ya, Oscar. Sleeping, napping at the safety car restart. We've gotten past the McLaren. We did notice from the last safety car restart that Piastri was a little bit sluggish to get away. And he has been the same again here. And we've taken advantage. We've now to P4 back again. Now running behind the 2 Red Bulls and the other McLaren, as was the case earlier in the race. Made up for the mistake made to let Piastri pass in the first place. Although, again, already those 3 in front are disappearing on me. We're definitely not at the right difficulty level for Austria in terms of the AI are a little bit too easy if it were dry weather, but in the wet I feel like I'm probably about right. Which means that in the dry I probably should go up 2 or 3 notches.
1.5 seconds.
We're definitely going to lose more positions between now and the end of the race. Either from my own mistakes or just from the AI being too quick. Like, Piastri had a run on me there and didn't commit up the inside when he should have, I think. Maybe I'm being a little bit too critical of AI behaviour, but I think Piastri should have gone for a move there. Lap times are significantly coming down.
Just focus on the driving. Gap to
whether we run
behind, 8.0
intermediate tyres at some point today still is a bit of a mystery, but the track is drier than it has been at any other point.
Okay,
A lot of wheel spin on the way out of turn 3 there. Going to be very vulnerable down into 4. Piastri's going to have a look. He's going to go left. Trying to hold on here. Is he trying to switch back? He thought about it, didn't actually commit to a switch back there, and with that loss of traction for me, probably could have made it through had he actually committed to the switchback. You can see the pace of the other cars, because when they get past me, they absolutely peace out. They just aren't aggressive enough in getting past me. It's definitely an AI overtaking thing. I still feel like I could probably hold my position. See there, he's just got to commit. He's got such overspeed. He just pauses alongside me and almost gets out of the throttle when he should just fully commit. We're actually going to get, well, seemingly, if we're able to keep this up and maintain it, we're going to get an inflated finish position here. But it's not necessarily because of the difficulty level. It's because of the AI not being aggressive enough when overtaking in the wet weather. Because rather evidently, I'm so much slower than everybody else, because those cars in front have gone a long way away, as they probably should do to some extent, because I'm in a worse car. But that just means that the McLaren and Mercedes behind me should also be overtaking me and running at that sort of pace as well, and they're not. It's all, the train kind of goes back to Lance Stroll-ish. But I do feel like maybe the Haas and the Aston Martin, maybe even the Williams too to some extent, are only really able to maintain their pace at the minute with these front-running cars because I'm that much slower and they can stay in the tow down the straight. I feel like, in general, we probably have the pace on the midfield, or at least a similar to pace for those in the midfield, but those that are in the front-running teams are faster, as those that are past me are showing. But obviously those that are behind aren't able to show that pace because Piastri's too much of a pussy to throw it up the inside, basically. Because I'm not necessarily driving very well at all, and I'm still maintaining the position. 43% now on the rear left, and still needing to do another 9 laps before making an change it into the pits for another set of wet weather tyres. I don't think we'll go to inters at any point though. I still think we're certainly going to be full wets till the end. Piastri's alongside me here into turn 3. Is he going to continue to be a pussy, or is he actually going to try and make the overtake? He's trying, but he's just going to give up in the traction zone, and I've got the place back to me. borderline frustrating because he should absolutely just be past me there. I feel anyway. I don't know whether you guys feel differently.
Let's use overtake and burn off some of this energy. Are you okay? That was a nasty hit. Turn the engine off and wait for the marshals.
Oh my god, what a massive crash. Piastri goes for it around the outside. Again, committing to a gap that's not there. Puts me in a wall. Oh my god, oh my god. So, there's... Oh Christ. So, Piastri's lost the wheel. Russell's lost the wheel. The Williams has lost the wheel. And I've lost the wheel. Lamau. So it's four cars. 4 cars retire there. Lol. I'm going to leave that in the video because I want to use that as a thumbnail. But, or I'll ask Chris to leave that in the video. But safe to say we are going to be flashbacking that. But that's quite the accident. I should probably give him more room here. But according to the letter of the law, unless your front axle is alongside the mirror of the car in front, then I don't have to give him space. And I'm drifting wide here. He's gone to commit around the outside, driven almost off the track to get there. He's nowhere near my mirror, even at the point of contact 50 metres later. So that's just Piastri being a doofus, I think. Literally, of all the opportunities for Piastri to overtake, he chooses that one. Verstappen's in, Lando is not. They are battling for the lead here. I wonder whether Lando staying out is actually a mistake from McLaren here. They could absolutely have boxed him and Piastri on the same lap. There's enough of a gap comfortably for them to be able to do so.
It's time to utilise some of this energy. Come on. Right, let's have you in at the end of this lap, please.
And it seems like everybody else is following me into the box here. No one's going to go a lap longer and try and overcut me because of my lack of pace in the wet. Looks like Hamilton is. Hamilton and Sainz are the only two to do that. So they'll probably come out of the pits ahead of me next lap. If they're able to replicate or put in the sort of pace we feel they're capable of. Front left slow tyre as well.
The left front wheel. We need to try and put that behind us.
We've lost position to Piastri and to Russell as a result.
These tyres now, we want to finish the race on this compound.
Weirdly, it released me into the traffic and it had to ghost the traffic to then let me out. What it should have done there is actually hold me until the Williams had gone past and then let me out. So I should have lost actually more places there than I did. But, I mean, I guess I'm thankful that I haven't. Piastri and Russell are past me now, though, and they'll obviously disappear into the distance. Same way that everybody else that passed me did. So we're now running a net P6, not P4. We'll see how well we can defend from the Williams behind as opposed to the McLaren previously.
Okay, so we're leading our teammate by 5.0 seconds.
There's a number of other drivers in the box.
Okay, Zane's coming in for his stop now.
And Hamilton is close, but he's not overcut me. He's very, very close though to have done so. He's come out in front of Albon. I think previously he might have been behind Albon. Might be mistaken with that. But Hamilton still behind me regardless, and we're currently P6 continually. We got a P7 in Canada. We might get back-to-back best results of the season. Lap times are significantly coming down but that's only really because of the new tyres. Lando was setting fastest laps prior to the pit stops, so the track conditions are getting better even for those on very worn tyres, but Lando has been able to maintain the lead after the round of pit stops, as you can clearly see on the minimap going into turn 3 now. So considering we anticipate this being the stints till the end, and if AI behaviour stays as we have seen it thus far, I don't think we'll be losing another position. I'm actually able to maintain the gap over Hamilton a bit more easily than I was able to maintain the gap over Piastri. So I wonder whether, in general, Piastri was faster than Hamilton. I mean, to be fair, you would expect the McLaren to be faster than the Ferrari. They're gaining on me in the straights though because of that stupid early enforced upshift from 6th to 7th and 7th to 8th. So I'm not going to be able to pull away even if I did have a little bit of extra pace.
And gap to the car in front, 1.6 seconds.
Lewis has perfectly executed a switch back there. That's P7. Oh, that's me outbraking myself. Lewis saw me coming and moved. He's going to hold the position there because he's on the racing line. He's got better traction than me on the still very wet not racing line. So we'll stay P7. Well done, Lewis. Great switchback overtake there into turn 3. I did get a little bit deep on the brakes. Albon thinking about it, but not executing yet. Albon's probably the first driver that I feel like I could probably realistically hold behind me, but we'll wait and see how things pan out. Yellow flag in the last sector. It's an RB going slowly. Isaac Hadjar retires from the Grand Prix. It's
okay, we've got a full course caution. The
I was about to say it's not caused the safety car.
Keep an eye on the delta,
but it has done.
Keep it positive to avoid a penalty.
Safety car number 3
positive delta
of this Grand Prix, as Isaac Hadjar retires on the outside of
okay, slow
turn
down,
10.
Slow down. Your delta's negative, which means you're going too fast.
I'm doing
Reduce
60
your
miles
pace.
an hour. My delta shouldn't still be in the red. So, I mean, again, that's probably a safety car that you would expect in real life. Maybe a VSC. Where is he? There. No, it's definitely a safety car. Well, no, it's probably a VSC with the gap in the. He's pulled over by a marshal post. I think it's probably the rain contributing to these. The fact that we've gone to increased safety cars and it's a fully wet race is probably having a big impact on this. I think if we were on standard, we wouldn't have had a safety car at all. But I feel like we should have had a VSC. I think that's probably the most accurate outcome there. Regardless, I think in the rain, it's difficult. Look at Hamilton struggling with his delta. That 2 seconds over we are for some reason, having to go at 20 miles an hour just to get back in the green. Oh, Christ's sake. Well, we're running P7. We were hanging on to Hamilton better than we'd hung on to others previously, but Hamilton was still extending the gap.
Drop your speed. Our delta's too low and we're going to risk a penalty. Slow your pace.
We were extending the gap over Ocon behind, albeit by maybe about half a tenth a lap. And Albon was just sitting anywhere from half a second to a second behind me. So this is probably organically our natural position now, running in P7. Should maybe be P8 if Charles Leclerc would actually box for that bloody damage, but he's now running P19 of 20 because he just won't box for that broken front wing, because surely that's a bug as well.
The circuit's definitely
it's just been a bit of a fustercluck of a Grand Prix.
Water, we might be able to go on to the intermediates
in a number of different aspects. But the safety car should be in at the end of lap 49, I would imagine. And Albon, everyone's going like these guys don't need to go this slowly. They can still catch the pack. Look at the gap that Albon's just dropping. Just because Lando's going slowly doesn't mean you can't catch the pack, lads. This race has been bug central. Right, we're off. Well, let's just gain me loads of time to Albon. Although that gap is now plummeting again. I am so confused. Well, alright. That's weird.
Clear.
Sometimes the safety car does go again without... oh, God, this is my teammate trying to get out of the way of everyone. Sometimes the safety car does go again before everyone's caught it up, but it's very rare. Hamilton's now trying to overtake the back marker and Russell at the same time and has actually done it. My teammate lets me through and is going to pull in front of Alex Albon here. Leclerc in 19th is in the way as well. Should have just boxed for that damage. Oh, mate. We said it was a clusterfuck before. It definitely is now. Why is Leclerc just waiting to the braking zone to let people out the way? Now he's pulled back on the racing line again. What are you doing, Charlie? Move, mate. Well, it's Russell that we're behind now. We're still P7. Albon's still half a second behind me. And Ocon, the gap is growing continually and is about 1.5 seconds. As you were, gents,
Let's use
20 laps to go. Ocon has caught us up here, but mainly because my rear tyres are in the 50s in terms of their percentage of wear. We are absolutely running the risk of getting at least one, if not maybe even a double rear puncture at the end of the race here. But we're risking everything to try and get points and a joint best finish of the season.
Okay, gap
there are
ahead.
11 laps to go when we cross the line. And at the moment, I don't know whether we'll make it to the end or not. But after the chaos that has been this Grand Prix, I'm gonna stay out. I'm not gonna pit, and we'll see what happens. We'll come out 17th if we box.
Some tyre wear soon, so stay on your toes.
We either box and definitely don't get points, or we stay out, run the risk of punctures, and maybe get points. Albon's got a run on me here. Could be up into P7, knock us down to P8. I'm going to try and hang it around the outside of him here at turn 3. And we have done. Fairly confident that he was going to give that up there, to be honest, as has been the case for the majority of the race so far. I would have loved to have seen what Austria was like in the dry, because I feel like it would absolutely have driven completely differently to this. I mean, the AI would have been much more aggressive in completely dry conditions, and we would have found ourselves being this slow, but we wouldn't have found ourselves struggling to get overtaken as poorly as we have been. And I think we only qualified as well as we did because they were all running wet weather setups for quali, and I was running a hybrid of wet and dry. If I'd have run a fully wet setup, I think we wouldn't have been anywhere near where we were in qualifying. If we'd have run a setup that's more comparable to what everyone else is running in the actual race itself, we probably have been Q2 only. I've got a little bit of a train forming behind me now. Albon, Ocon, Sainz and... well, it has to be Stroll, doesn't it? Because Alonso's already retired because his engine went bang. So we could possibly finish outside the points here. Just from tyre performance, we could possibly finish outside the points here because of a double puncture. I think that rear left is definitely going to go. It's 59% now. We've only done another 2 laps since I last looked at it when it was 51, I think. It's just wheel spin everywhere here. We've got 9 laps to go when we cross the line. There is a lot of racing still to come here. Was it last year on F124? It might have been F123 where we were running...
Still not a perfect situation, but I don't think we got caught to move on to a different tyre yet.
We were running with 90+% worn intermediate tyres at Silverstone and avoided a puncture. We almost certainly aren't going to get that lucky here. But that rear left is now on 60%. with 8 laps to go. I'm just waiting for it to go bang, but we'll try. Punctures can be a thing from anywhere 70/75% upwards, I believe. I'm going to try and just stick up the inside of Albon here and maintain the place. I'm just really struggling on traction now because of those rear tyres, which is why everyone else is caught up behind. Oh, holy moly, what a Grand Prix. Still P7 at the moment.
And gap to the car in front, 0.5 seconds.
Just got all out of shape there on the exit of turn 1, and Albon's gotten me. I'll try and get him back. It's gone defensive, trying to get the car stopped. Go around the outside of turn 3. Get on the power, and he's going to slot in behind me. It's just so silly. There's no way that he should just back out of that like that. That's mental. I'm inclined to think it's because of the wet weather and the high tyre wear that they're driving like this, but absolutely in the dry I think Albon would have held the position there. If he wouldn't have, then absolutely, obviously it needs a tweak. There's a blue flag there momentarily, but Christ knows what for, because Lando and Max are nowhere near. Well, I saw a blue flag on the flag panel boards there, just flashing again, but there's no way. The leaders are half a lap away, so I don't know why the blue flags are flashing. They're also nowhere near anyone that they'd want to lap. I don't think there's anyone in the train behind me that is a lap down as well. We've only lapped a couple of drivers on track ourselves. Albon's up the inside here. I'll hold it around the outside, and again he'll just tuck in and follow. 67% and 65% on the rears now. 6 laps to go, including the one that we're on. Oh, wheel spin everywhere. Out. Come through, Alex. Why don't you? Bloody hell. I get a warning for that. He's driven into me, mate. I'm just minding my own business on the exit there, and he's like, I'm coming through. That was rude. I know I can get a bit rude with the AI myself, but I don't just hit both wheel axles on the way past and be like, see ya. That was like an open lobby move, that, from Alex Albon. We're down to P8. Trying to hold on for 5 more laps with 69% and 67% warm tyres. Punctures inbound, surely. Punctures inbound. What a chaotic end to the road. We've got a massive train behind us now as my pace just completely drops off. I'm still apparently setting personal best sectors, which is an absolute joke on these sorts of tyres.
Okay, it's borderline, mate, but if I were you, I'd come in and change tyres. I'm just not sure we're on the right ones for these conditions anymore.
Okay, so they think it's potentially intermediate tyre weather.
The car behind is dropping back by about 0.3 a lap. Well done.
Yeah, no, he's not. Oh my God, so much wheel spin. So much wheel spin. 75%. I'm going to keep that up now. It's not like I'm paying attention to anything else. The little notification at the top, the little wheel symbol is red.
Okay, be aware, we expect severe loss of grip from the tyres very soon.
You think? Severe loss of grip because there's no air in it, or severe loss of grip because of just wear? I'm not sure at the moment. To be fair, it's only Ocon and Sainz behind me at the minute. There's a train behind Stroll, but Stroll at the moment has fallen off the back of Carlos Sainz. So as we are headed on to our final lap... Oh, please don't get a puncture on the final lap. As we head on to the final lap, we are in P8 with half a second of gap behind,
okay, you've just started
and 60% of battery. Praying that those little rear tyres can hang on. Please hang on, lads. Please hang on. It's either 1 point for 10th, 2 points for 9th, or 4 points for 8th. or nothing because I'll get a puncture and everybody overtakes me. We'll find out in due course. Half a lap to go. Lando Norris sets the fastest lap as he wins the race. No, Max Verstappen takes the fastest lap off him as he finishes second in the race. Really refreshing that Max has not won 2 races in a row. Hopefully that's a sign of things to come in the rest of this career and that his domination era is over. We'll wait and see, of course, but that's back-to-back races that Max has not won. And he qualified in P4 here, so... Oh, sorry, concentrating as Ocon's having a look. No, Esty Bestie. Stay where you are, Esty Bestie. It's going to be P8 in the race of all races around this Austria circuit. 3 safety cars, 80% worn rear tyres, bugs aplenty, chaos aplenty.
And that's the end of the race.
We finish in P8 and we get ourselves 4 World Championship points. The competitiveness there was absolutely track-specific and weather-specific, so I'm not going to jump to any conclusions about changing difficulty at this stage. We will wait and see what happens in Silverstone before we make any rash decisions. We're not just going to change things too early. Because I was absolutely nowhere pace-wise in that race. Absolutely nowhere. And we have our theories about why we finished where we did in quali because of setups for other teams for the conditions that we weren't set up for. Oh, dearie me, that was absolutely ridiculous. Like we did in the last episode, we won't do any of the off-track stuff at the end of this episode. We'll do that and we'll save that for stuff in between. So we will end the episode there. I think you might have enjoyed that one. Do drop the video a like. I've no idea how long the video will be because we did a lot of running on our own, but we also did a lot of talking about everything that was going crazily wrong in that race. So we'll see what happens. Balls in your court, Chris. Thank you very much for watching, chat. Appreciate it very much indeed. I shall hopefully see you back for the next YouTube video here tomorrow. Bye-bye.